Hi everyone, I'm Whitney and I post a new tutorial here on Whitney Sews every single Wednesday to help sewers of all skill levels learn new projects and techniques. This week is all about my Newsboy hat and how you can make your own. I actually shared a tutorial for this hat about 6 or 7 years ago, and the video wasn't that great and I didn't understand how to make PDF patterns at the time, so a lot of people had trouble getting the pattern to print the right size. So I thought it was finally time to do an updated version with better video quality as well as a new pattern that is much easier to print. You can go over to my website, whitneysews.com, and click the shop tab, or you can click the link right up here that will take you directly to the pattern. And it is now a PDF, so it has the written directions to go along with this video as well as the pattern, so you shouldn't have any more trouble getting it to print the correct size. Since the original version of this tutorial had a free pattern, this version will be free as well. Sometimes I do charge for my PDFs, but since I had already offered it at a free rate before and it was a little bit flawed, I'm honoring that and still sharing it for free. So now onto the tutorial. Here are all the pieces that you will need to make your hat, and they are listed out in detail in the PDF. We're going to start with the hat brim. Place your interfacing on the back side of one brim piece and iron to fuse into place. Repeat for the brim insert. Place the two brim pieces right sides together, then lay the insert piece on top. Clip the layers together and sew along the curved edge of the brim to attach. Turn the brim right sides out and smooth out the curved edge. Sew a top stitch along the curved side you just sewed, then across the remaining edge to hold the layers together. Fold the band in half right sides together. Sew along the short sides to attach with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Open the seam up and sew down each side of the seam allowance to hold it in place. Then fold the band in half to find the center. Find the center of the brim as well and line the 2 points up, making sure the brim and band are right sides together. Clip the two together and start at the center point and sew to one edge of the brim, then start back at the center and sew to the other edge. You want your stitching line to be about 1/4 inch from the end. So in my original tutorial, I showed doing a double band to finish off the band and the inside of the hat. That was actually the only time I had ever done that technique out of the 50 or more hats I have made in the past several years. So I'm actually going to show you today how I finish my hats, and I find it to be easier, and it uses store-bought bias tape. Now if you can't find bias tape where you are at, you can make your own, and I do have a tutorial showing how to do that I'll link right up here in the information icon. After the brim is sewn on, I hem the bottom of the band. I turn it up about 1/4 inch as I go. If the fabric is really bad about fraying, then I will sew around that bottom edge twice. Now it's time to put the hat body together. Place two of the body pieces right sides together and sew along one curved edge to attach. Open the pair and add a third body piece right sides together, lining up that curved edge. Sew that edge to attach. Repeat with the other 3 pieces so you have 2 halves of the hat body. Lay the 2 halves right sides together and sew along the curved edge to attach. Trim the seam allowance at the top of the curve to reduce some bulk. Turn the hat body right sides out and repeat the same steps to sew the body lining together. Place the lining inside the outer with the wrong sides together, lining up the seams. Clip the layers together in several places. Sew around the edge to attach the lining and outer together. Then put the band around the hat body so the two are right sides together. Find the center of one hat section and match it up with the back seam of the band. Then find the center of the section opposite the first and match it up with the center of the brim. You can see that my band is smaller than the hat body because I have a smaller head. So I made a small pleat in the hat body on each side to make the two pieces fit together perfectly. So all the way around to attach. This is how my pleats look. If your head is larger than mine, you may not need to do the pleats at all. Now to finish off the inside of the hat, I used pre-made extra wide double fold bias tape to cover the seam allowances. Place the folded bias tape around the seam allowance so all the raw edges are tucked away inside. Then sew around to attach, adjusting the bias tape as you go. When you get to the back seam, make sure to overlap the bias tape ends by at least a ½ inch. And then your hat is complete and ready to wear. Now I like to add little embellishments to my hats like buttons or even little lollipop flowers like this one here. And I do have a tutorial for this style of flowers and that will be linked right up here in the information icon as well. Make sure to hit like down below and share this video if you enjoyed the tutorial. I actually ended up making a few extra hats while I was working on these, so I am going to be selling some of them, and if you want more information about the hats I have for sale, you can find all that out in the unlisted video that I have linked right over here. Make sure to come back soon for another video, and I will see you again next time. Happy sewing!